Good day, everyone. I'm going to explain certain things about a sub 20 game against the Remnant. This is the very first sub 20 game I uploaded on this channel, and I'm going to explain how certain things are supposed to be done, even though doesn't always work out that way, but the general ideas should always apply. And it starts with, obviously, round one. Round one should always take you 2 minutes or less to do. If you can't beat round one in 2 minutes or less when something's wrong, maybe your character, your build, the gun that you're using, but you have to beat round one in 2 minutes or less consistently. Every single time, it should take you 2 minutes or less. Now, if you're using the Havoc, something I often do is just jump down to grab those 4 grenades for my flak cannons, because flak cannons on the Havoc is exceptionally useful against the Remnant. It stuns all of the enemies, the saboteurs, the dogs, and the observers, and it also applies its burning damage to all of them as well, making them easier to kill.
Just 3 hostiles remaining.
Now, as you can see at the time at the bottom, it took me 2 minutes to beat the round, and that's what you're looking for on round 1. To beat the Remnant on round 1, it takes 2 minutes or less. Now, on round 2, I got a device wave. Now, devices and bosses are 2 of the fastest objectives to get, because it takes you 1 minute to do, on average. So I'm gonna do all 4 devices in just about 1 minute, maybe a minute 10 seconds, and that's what you're looking for to beat or finish all of the objectives in 1 minute, the devices or the boss wave. So this is the last device, and it took me 1 minute to do, and that's what you're looking for. Now, to clean up the wave, to kill all of the enemies, it should take you 1 minute to do. So if you ever get a device wave or a boss wave, it should be 2 minutes per that round. Doesn't matter which round it is, round 2, round 4, or round 6. If you get devices or bosses, it should take you 2 minutes to complete.
3 more to go.
And there you go, it took me 4 minutes to beat the first 2 waves of the Remnant, and that's how fast you want to beat it if you want a sub 20 game. Saying it out loud sounds ridiculous, but that's just the way it is. Now, there's a lot to mention about round 3. Round 3 takes approximately 3 minutes to complete. And something that I do with the Havoc on round 3 in particular is I spam my flak cannons a lot, just to rack up a lot of burning damage, especially against the armored targets like the berserkers and the nullifiers. And if you can't kill an enemy like the Berserker or the Nullifier immediately, that's fine, because that just means it'll be that much more easier to kill when you come back to them. And if you can weaken an enemy and shoot a flak cannon at them, that makes it better. And when you get overwhelmed, you jump down into this room and you jump back up. It's very important to run into the room. And you do that till they jump down, and when you see them jump down, that's when you go back up. Now that is how fast you can kill a destroyer. As you can see, you never ever shoot the turrets off of a destroyer because it's a giant waste of time. It's insignificant, it does nothing, it's a waste of time. Because that is how fast you can kill a destroyer. Now on round 3, sharpshooters always stand behind you. You have to jump down and kill them, otherwise they will kill you. So always do that. That is a priority. And yeah, that's how fast you can kill a destroyer, and that's why you should not even try to shoot its turrets. It's useless, it doesn't do anything. And yeah, it took me 3 minutes to beat round 3. That's how fast, or I should say consistently, you should do it. 3 minutes for round 3. Now, retrievals take comparatively a very long time to do. As in round 2, you saw that devices can literally take 1 minute to do, but retrievals can often take 2 minutes to do. Think of it as a two-way trip. You have to run to the retrieval and then run back. A piece of advice right here is to stick to the wall on this device. The reason that you stick to the wall is to avoid getting shot by the enemies. And you have to be very comfortable with maneuvering the map on round 4 in particular because of the Hydra. The Hydra targets you from afar, and you have to be very careful and quick with how you maneuver the map. And this is a prime example right here. The Hydra targeted me and I had to maneuver out of its missile barrage, and it didn't hit me. You have to learn how to do that, especially on wave 4 and on wave 6 against the Remnant, otherwise they will kill you. So this is my last retrieval, and if you look at the time, it basically took me 2 minutes to do it. And it's very difficult if you get more than one retrieval to get a sub 20 game, simply because of how long it takes to do in comparison to the other objectives. As you saw, it took me 1 minute to do a device wave, but it took me 2 minutes just to do the retrievals. And it's going to take me around a minute, just over a minute, to kill all of the enemies. And again, like, that's the time that you're looking for, 1 minute to kill all the enemies. If you can't do that, then it's considerably harder, if not impossible, to get a sub 20 game if you can't kill the enemies in 1 minute. Now, it's very important against the Remnant to finish the first 4 waves in 10 minutes or less. Yes, 10 minutes. So as you can see the time, it's just over the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Which we'll have to do. And that's because wave 5 consistently takes 3.5 to 4 minutes to complete. There isn't much to say about round 5 against the Remnant, other than you have to stay right here, otherwise the progenitor will wake up. And just by the progenitor being awake, it adds on a lot more time against the Remnant, making it impossible to get a sub 20 game. So you stand right by those boxes and you never ever move. You stand right by those boxes. You never jump down, you never jump up, you never really walk anywhere. Because if you do, the progenitor can and will wake up, adding on a substantial amount of time. So you have to get used to staying right here and never moving. And if you're playing with a character like the Havoc that depends on her flak cannons, you have to use your ammo packs to get them back. And it's for the exact same reason as round 1. You just do it to stun the enemies, to do some burning damage to them so they are easier to kill. Now when I use a Havoc, I pretty much only use one gun, the Pulse Siphon, because she has turbocharge to refill the gun, and also the ammo pack trick, which I showed in one of my videos, that can refill the paw as well. It works with her and the flak cannons. So she's a perfect character to only carry one gun. She's one of the precious few good characters that can exploit it very well. Another character is a Turian soldier, which I will be covering next.
3 more to go. Squad member down.
So yeah, as you can see, it took me 4 minutes to beat round 5. And again, do not shoot the red observers, they despawn, so they're irrelevant. And I was rather fortunate to get another device round. And again, I'll prove my point that devices take around 1 minute to complete. So 1440 I started the devices, and it's gonna take me a minute to complete. So that right there is another example of evading the Hydra's missiles, because shooting off the Hydra's eye just takes off time to do, and if you're trying to do it in under 20 minutes, you shouldn't do that. It's wasting time. So you have to ignore the Hydra, meaning that you have to learn how to evade its attacks. Now if you look at the time, it's 15:40, so it did take me 1 minute to do all of the devices, just to prove my point. And right here, against the Hydra, you spam all of your RPGs just to get rid of the Hydra, simply because the Hydra is the one enemy that takes the longest to kill against the Remnant. All of the other enemies are very easy to kill, very easy to deal with. And there you go. It took me 1 minute to kill all of the bosses, all of the enemies, and that's what you're looking for. So, beating rounds 1 to 6 should take you 17 minutes or less. If you can beat rounds 1 to 6 in 17 minutes or less, you will get a sub 20 game consistently. Now round 7 you literally have to do nothing, just run around the map. So just know that you have to beat rounds 1 to 6 in 17 minutes or less. Anything above that, it's very unlikely that you'll get a 20-minute game or a sub 20-minute game. I'm afraid there's not much to say about round 7 other than you just run around the map. You run from the boxes to the rooftop and that's it. There's nothing particularly special about it. Now, as you can see, the time is almost 20 seconds, and this is when you kind of want to go towards the extraction point. And there you go. That's a commentary of the first sub 20 game I uploaded to this channel, and hopefully you can understand the timing of every single round against the Remnant. You just have to get used to standing your ground. It's something that you can notice in my sub 20 games. I stand my ground a lot, and that's because if you're behind cover, the enemies can't particularly hurt you, so long as you can kill them fast enough and you can keep them off of you. So I hope this helps.